Charles Stewart.
And the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, this is Stan Schofield, and I'm inviting all of my KWK family and my family to watch Church Without Walls, 11 o'clock on Mondays, for the greatest and latest show around. Thank you.
I'm Cynthia Lee Shang, and you're watching Church Without Walls on New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lopinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This program does not reflect the views and opinions of the New Orleans Talk Network. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls in the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time. We are Church Without Walls. I'm your host, Charles Stewart, co-host also the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams. We come every Monday morning. We provide the guest, or we provide the topic. And you can get in on the conversation, whatever we're talking about. You provide the conversation. So we thank God that we're able to come every Monday morning. And we thank you for listening. And we thank you for watching Church Without Walls. We tell our listening audience every Monday morning, remember one thing, you are the church. And don't you ever forget that the Bible tells us that two or three that come in his name, he'll be in the midst of it. So long we put God first, that is his church. He wants us to go spread good news. And this is what Dr. Williams and myself, we try to do every morning, to try to bring good news to our community. And we hope that you keep on being a part of it, and we hope that you would always tune in to Church Without Walls every Monday morning. And we thank to our sheriff that he keep his commitment. I thought that it would be January before he would come on again. I was surprised Friday when his secretary said the sheriff will be there Monday. And he is a man of his word. He said every other month he would come on and give the people in Jefferson Parish update what's going on in our community. And we call this show Building Relationship with Our Sheriff. And the sheriff build a relationship with the community. And so he is in the studio today. Before we get into the show, a couple of friends of mine called me, a couple of pastors told me to ask the community and to pray for Congressman Lewis, John Lewis, who is, I think they said that he have stage 4 cancer, and I happened to, on my way here, I heard he said on that he done beat a lot of things in life. He gonna beat this, so we certainly praying for him and his family, and we also want to congratulate LSU Tigers for the Tiger came out of the tank everywhere over the weekend. They in the championship game. Congratulate to them, and also congratulate the New Orleans Saints. They've been in the playoff. They was hoping to be number 1 seeded, but I think they're gonna be number 3. However, go Saints, go. And for everyone that listening or watching, if you have someone in your family that may be sick and shedding, we pray that God will bring them through with whatever they're going through. Remember, when you go through something, you seem to always come out a little better than when you went there. Like you break your leg now, you come back with a better leg than you had before, So we thank God that for all the great men, the science that they have today, that He have blessed people, give them the wisdom and knowledge to make you be a better person than you was before. Saying that to say this again, we thank God for 2019. So many that started in the beginning of this year, and so many that I know them fell by the wayside. They no longer with us, but God seemed fit to put us, Reverend Williams always say, on his daily planet. And we so happy that we are here. Our chef been here all the year with us. And I'm happy that he is in the studio. I want to say to our listening audience that last night I was looking at the status of Jefferson Parish against other parishes across the state. And chef, before you come in, they said Jefferson Parish was 18% higher crime rate than other cities across the United States. I said, wow, we 18%. But as I looked, they said that Jefferson Parish was one of the better parishes to live in because if Sheriff, I know the Sheriff gonna straighten me out if I'm wrong. Also, they said Jefferson Parish is one of the better cities to live in, parish to live in. And I think one out of the crime rate, I think 1 out of every 33 is caught that commit a crime. So that's pretty good, Sheriff. But before the Sheriff come on and give us an update report on, we're going to ask him from 18, since he's been in office, and the difference between the crime then and the crime now. And later on, if you like to get in on the conversation, you could dial 1-712-451-0602. And the code would be 955-143. Help me out, Shaq, because my eyes kind of old.
712-451-0602. And hit the access code 955-143. Give us a call.
So anyway, we happy that the sheriff with us. I don't think he haven't been with us since his big victory, man. I mean, he beat the living hell out of the guy he ran against. But anyway, we happy that. And let's go to show you he has been doing a great job, and the people of Jefferson Parish have rewarded you for an outstanding job, and they re-elected you overwhelming. So we happy that you have been re-elected. You're going to be leading us for the next 4 years. And we thank God for you. And share. So our viewing and listening audience, you can say hello to them this morning.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
And Dr. William, you have anything opening for we can start talking about what's going on in Jefferson Parish?
Well, one thing I'd like to say, Charles, is that everybody have had a wonderful Christmas. But I would just like to send out a prayer to all of those, maybe all of those who may have found peace in us over that year. And we also like to thank those all of Christmas is a time of everybody everybody ought to love.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
This is Charles Stewart.
And the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
This program does not reflect the views and opinions of the New Orleans Talk Network. Viewer discretion is advised.
We are back. You are listening to Church Without Walls with Reverend Anthony Williams and Charles Stewart. We have our great chef in the studio with us this morning. And we apologize. We do have some problem with our phone line, but the producer is trying to do everything that they can to correct it. And they have another number, and the number is 1-712-451-4602. And access code is 055143.
You messed that up completely. 712-451-0602. And access code's 955-143. I got you.
I better put on my glass. I see. But anyway, thanks for the chef for correcting me. That is the number you want to get in. Again, we apologize to you. And I thank the judge for calling. I hope that you can get in. I apologize. But anyway, Chef, we are here. We're going to get into the show. And Chef, I guess the beginning of 2019, leading up to 2020, how you feel about everything, Chef?
I feel good. I mean, look, we have problems like every day. I mean, when you have 1,500 employees, when you have a sheriff's office the size of ours, we always have problems. We always have issues. We had an armed robbery just yesterday, which was, really phenomenal work by us, being on the spot, being very close to the scene, ended up catching the person before they were able to get out of the way. Somebody was trying to sell their cell phone online and met up with the person, and ended up being an armed robbery. They pulled a gun on it, took the cell phone, but we had deputies in the area. The person was able to see one of our deputies, flag him down, and ended up pointing the suspect crossing the street. We were able to take him into custody without incident, recovered the cell phone. Just great police work, which makes you proud to be able to go to work every day, knowing men and women out there working hard for us. Crime, as we talked earlier, I mean, overall it's low. But I want to look at, a few different categories, especially when you talk about violent crime, our armed robberies, our assaults. They've been considerably down. I mean, 20% in armed robberies this year, which is a very, big number. Thefts are up this year, which you would expect. Let's face it, we're going to have a lot more identity type thefts, credit card type thefts that didn't exist 20 years ago. They exist now. So that number continues to rise. Our violent crime continues to go down. But overall, crime is down another 2.5% over last year's numbers, which is our lowest rates that we've had in Jefferson Parish in quite some time. So the numbers are still trending in the right direction, but you're still going to have crime. You've got 430,000 people. You still have people out there that will victimize others. And what I look towards is the sheriff's office going out there and actually, trying to solve crime quickly. We talked about, 1 in 33, but almost 90% of our murder cases are solved right now. We had a murder this past week. We already have an arrest warrant for the suspect within 24 hours. That's a phenomenal thing when you consider that the national average on a murder solve rate is about 57%. To have a 90% solve rate on murder cases is really telling to the quality of police work that we're providing in Jefferson Parish.
Sheriff, the communication between the community and the sheriff department, have that improved at all?
Well, it depends on who's listening, right? The fact of it is we have an entire division that's set up for our public affairs division. When I leave here today, I'm going to meet with a bunch of Boy Scouts at my office that have to meet with an elected official. They're going to have a tour of my facility. Just this past season, we've done. I was personally out at Walmart collecting toys for a toy drive, going around on our Blue Christmas, delivering gifts to needy families around this community. Right. So the sheriff's office is always is always communicating with the public. Depends on who's listening. If you want to talk to us, we're always here to talk, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. If you don't want to talk to us, well, guess what? We don't have a lot of communication. The sheriff's office itself is always there and always continuing to communicate. We've brought in a bunch of different things. Our Sergeant Barrington, our Barrington's Bear, is really touring all the different schools and going to meet with the schools. But more importantly, they just did a children's book this year. A children's book that's actually based off of the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, to be distributed, to be sold, to be, to try to, bridge that gap. We have programs like our Band of Excellence, our Young Marines, which are always available for the youth to participate in. Now, does everybody take into account and be part of that? The answer is no. That will never happen. But we try to make sure that we're always out there, and whether it's a civic association. I say, if you're part of your civic association, the line of communication is always open. Unfortunately, we'll go into a neighborhood that has 5,000 residents, and 30 people happen to be at the civic association. So the line of communication is there if you want it to be open, but you've got to have the public that actually wants to show up also.
So the leaders of the community civic organization, are they supporting you guys? Are they talking?
Oh, without a doubt. Look, and it doesn't even have to be the civic associations. There's a reason we have a 90% solve rate, because the community still supports us. The community still picks up the phone and says, hey, I may not want to speak, but this is who is responsible for this crime. Gives us the information that we need in order to go out and solve it. We're just puzzle builders is what we are. The pieces of a crime are out there, whether it's casings, whether it's guns, whether it's suspect ID. But all we do is come together and put the puzzle together. We need the community's help to be able to tell us what those pieces are, to make sure that we can put crime together, to present it to the district attorney's office. And there's a lot more good in this community than there's ever bad. We like to share the bad. Let's face it. The negative is a lot more easily shared than any of the positive will ever be shared. And that's what we live with today.
So how do we turn the negative into a positive with the community?
To turn off social media, I hate to put it that way, but I give it from an example of this. We had 430,000 residents that went to sleep last night, and the vast majority of them were not the victim of any type of crime. So burglaries are without a doubt a major problem. People walk around and pull on door handles. That is something that's always existed. It's not new. It's something that existed 20 years ago. In the past, though, you would never know about that burglary. Think about it. If you walk out of your house right now and walk 15 doors down, tell me who your neighbor is.
Well, that's one of the problems that we have.
We
Some
don't know
people-
our neighbors. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Some
don't.
people have been standing by you 20 years and you don't even know who their neighbor is.
There's no doubt about it. And so we don't know our neighbors, but because of the power of social media, if that neighbor 15 doors down that you have no clue who they are and it gets their house burglarized or their car burglarized, now they're able to share it with 5,000 of their closest friends. Hey, we had a burglary last night. We had a burglary. So now everybody hears about that 1 or 2 burglaries that we have every single night, and they believe that crime is out of control. It really isn't, because there's a lot more people that were not victims of crime last night.
I see a lot of people right now are starting to put those doorbells with the camera on them and everything else. Do you think that's helping?
It helps us. It helps. It absolutely helps the sheriff's office because it provides us with information. Let's face it. Most people are sleeping at 2:00 in the morning. If their car got broken into, they'd have no clue. Now they have that doorbell, and they get a little ding on their phone because there was movement in their front yard. They pull it up, and there was somebody that walked by and pulled on their door handle. They call the police at 2:00 in the morning. We surround the area. We're able to catch the person. So it absolutely helps us in law enforcement. Now, the negative side is to the non-law enforcement. Now they get to see it. The general public sees somebody committing a burglary in their neighborhood, and so their unknown is turned into a belief that crime is rampant, even though it was happening just at the same or at a higher rate in the past. It is now at a lower rate, but they see it more often. And that's the difference. So it's good for law enforcement. It's absolutely good for law enforcement. And for the people that, I guess, are really trying to help, I want everybody to see it. But I don't want you to be confused that crime is rampantly spreading, because crime is actually not rampantly spreading when you look at the true numbers that are happening. We are just more observant of the crime that exists. And that's the difference.
Those that have the cameras on their houses, it help you all in what retrospect?
Well, both. I mean, so let's face it. If I can get clothing descriptions, if I can get, if someone says that someone's in a neighborhood wearing a red sweatshirt, black pants, well, obviously, and I'm stopping someone 3 blocks away with a red sweatshirt and black pants, it gives me the opportunity to, whether we have a face, whether we have a clothing description, most people know what somebody looks like. I have the ability to make those stops, to go out. They're going to go out in the neighborhood again, even if we don't catch them the first night. It also allows us to get notified. Jefferson Parish is a big area. Very seldom are we going to ride down the street and just happen to see somebody out there, because they're going to see headlights coming down the street. They're going to duck behind a car, and we're never going to know that they're there. But giving us the opportunity to say, hey, my doorbell camera just went off, at 2:00 in the morning. Somebody was just pulling on my door handle. They call 911. We'll actually flood the area. We'll turn our lights off. We'll come into the area and make sure we set up a good perimeter. And our ability to catch these people and perpetrators has really become a easy thing when we have the notification that's happening.
Sir, do y'all have any planned clothesmen out in the areas of the community?
We do, but let's face it. I'll never have enough policemen on every corner. The police work is not meant to be able to. We have to respond to too big of an area. Our deputies need to be in police cars to be able to get to them. It's not a community walk you beat. Tell me the last crime that occurred on your street. The truth of it is we don't prevent, or we don't predict where the next crime is going to happen. I can tell you right now where a crime is going to occur today. I can give you an address. 197 West Bank Expressway here on the West Bank. 3301 veterans on the East Bank. I guarantee you there's going to be a crime there today. That's one address in Jefferson Parish. Right. But that's Oakwood and Lakeside Malls. If I gave you 10 deputies and said, go to Lakeside Mall and I want you to make sure you prevent every crime that occurs there, you couldn't do it with 10 deputies. You couldn't do it because you can't cover every single store. You can't, and that's one address in Jefferson Parish. Right. Think about how many addresses we actually have. Yeah. So preventing crime is something that is an anomaly. What we do is we try to solve crime quickly to prevent the next crime from happening. So in our shoplifting, we have teams of shoplifters that we know come in. We know who they are. We know that they missed their court dates. We know that they had warrants. So what we did was the week before Christmas, when we know that they're probably going to go into the malls and actually go and do shoplifting, we did a roundup. Actually did a roundup and went and picked up our known shoplifters, and picked them up and kept them in jail for a week. So that way they don't have the opportunity to go into the malls and steal from us. And, and guess what? That was a week of hopefully, no shoplifting from them. So,
yeah, we're going to have to take a break. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls. Again, I'm going to try to read these numbers. Let me see. Again, if you'd like to call, we apologize, but 712-451-0602. And access code is 9551-43. So you are listening to Church Without Walls. We'll be back.
Kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Yep.
This is Charles Stewart.
And the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it.
New year, new show. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm coming back at you with the new year of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. And this year, we're moving to Monday night with brand new exciting guests and engaging literary conversation. And we want our listening audience to be there with us because this is going to be a year you will not forget. Catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m., right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. And you can also reach us on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook page, the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, and we're on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. So catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there.
This program does not reflect the views and opinions of the New Orleans Talk Network. Viewer discretion is advised.
We are back. You are watching Church Without Walls in the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. We have our chef Joe Lopinto, for people who be watching all over the country. We is Church Without Walls. We're in the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network in Marrero, Louisiana. And in Jefferson Parish, we're right across the river from New Orleans. So a lot of times people live in Jefferson Parish, they say they're from New Orleans because everybody know the name New Orleans. But we have a great parish, Jefferson Parish.
Charles, let me
Louisiana.
Let me just say that we have the number on the screen right now, and that number is 17124510602. And you have to put an excess code on, $excess code on it. The excess code is 955143. 955143. You have your sheriff here this morning, and you've got questions that you would like to have asked. So you have the ability to interact with him this morning, and we're asking you to call in. Ask him the questions that you're asking everybody else. he can better give it to you pertaining to his system, the data that he have. He can answer those questions for you. So please, sir, please, ma'am, call in this morning. Again, that number is 1-712-451-0602. I'm more than sure he'll be glad to talk with you. So give us a call.
Sheriff, a big thing that people ask me and that live on the East Bank, and one of the person can't get through on the phone. They asked me to ask you, you're aware of saying the Bunchville and Lift Farm area. I know during the campaign, pastor that living in the community said that they have quite a few young men that come into that little area, Bunchville and Lift Farm area.
Yep.
And said he don't believe that they live in the area, but they come there and they done crime, drug addict.
No, they live there.
They live there?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we're aware of it.
Oh, you're aware of it?
I mean,
Okay.
it's both. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But the fact of it is yeah, we there was absolutely an uptick in Bunch Village, really surrounding one house. Yeah, we had several shootings at that one particular house, different victims and different suspects, but it was I mean, there's other houses that are related to it, but one particular house in between, I think we had 3 different shootings there this year, not necessarily all fatalities, but different shootings. Problem house, no doubt about it.
Okay.
We're aware of it. We make sure we do as many patrols as we can. I mean, in front of it. But one point in time, I mean, we're doing all kind of different things in order to try to get whoever we can off of the street related to that particular house. It's a problem because when you're dealing with such a small community of what that is at Bunch Village, I mean, let's face it, one house can destroy a neighborhood when you're talking about all the other people that live right there in that particular area. And so there's no doubt that that we are aware of it, but we also have a job within the laws that we can do. I mean, just because somebody's staying at that house doesn't mean that they're all bad. You know what I mean? And we need to make sure that we can do what we can, whether it's drug use, whether it's drug dealing, whether it's the shootings. Again, most of those crimes were actually solved. We ended up having we had one person that was actually murdered on the West Bank that we believe was probably responsible for some of the shootings on the East Bank that was related to some of those things. So, we ask anybody that has any specific information to contact us. You don't even have to contact us directly. You can contact us through Crime Stoppers, 822-1111. You don't have to give us any name. Who do you believe is responsible? Why? What's that information to give us the opportunity to hopefully put them away? I mean, look, this system is not perfect. We make arrests every day and we release people every day. But when violent crime is continuing to creep in on one particular neighborhood, like it was recently in Bunch Village, we absolutely take it seriously.
Now, ladies, last night, one of the young ladies said this, one of the pastors told her that the police don't have a presence in the area. I said, well, I don't know, I don't live in the area. I said, but I do know the areas that I travel, some of them that I know. When one cop come, I mean, it used to be, I think, Harry Hand, I know West Wego had the reputation say, if one cop stop you, look like the whole force come on you. And it seems like Jefferson Parish been doing the same thing. So.
We do. I mean, let's face it. What people's belief is and what reality is a totally different story. I mean, I can promise you that the garbage man normally comes twice a week. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean you see it, but you know it passed your house because it picked up the garbage in front of your house, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean that a police car didn't pass in front of your house, but if you're inside watching television, you didn't know a police car pulled in front of your house. Right. So the answer is our deputies in between their calls for service are always patrolling the neighborhood. They're always out there. Now that doesn't mean they went down your street that particular day. But they're in the neighborhood, and if you're standing outside, you're going to see them more often. But they're going to during the daytime, they're actually handling more calls for service. During the nighttime, they're doing more patrols. and that's the nature of what police work is.
Well, the patrol situation in the Avondale area, I live in that area, and I see them all the time. There are certain streets I know they're going to go down, and sometimes I'm just out there watching. And I think on my street the other day there was, I think they had about 3 cars when I pulled up last night, right across the street from me. I don't know what was happening. I didn't go and try to find out because I had been gone most of the day. But you don't see one police if something happens. You're going to see at least 3 or 4 cars.
Well, we choose in Jefferson Parish to have one-man vehicles. So our men and women that are driving are in one-person vehicles, right? It gives us the opportunity to respond to calls quicker. It allows us to have more deputies out there on the street. So that way, if you're, let's say, your car is stolen overnight, we don't have a suspect. I don't want to have to send a 2-person car to your house to write a report. And by that time, I'm tying up 2 people. So I'd rather have more 1-person cars than less 2-person cars. And what it does is it gives me the opportunity to go handle the calls for service with 1 person to be able to do that. But when a call for service happens and where we need backup, we can send 2 and 3, 4 cars, whatever the case may be, to make sure that they have enough units on the scene to be able to handle it. I don't want my deputies to get in fights. I want the least amount of resisting arrest. Last time I checked, we made over 25,000 arrests in Jefferson Parish in 1 year, and resisting arrest charges total was only 404. Out of 25,000. When we pull up on the scene, I want that perpetrator to know, you know what, we're not fighting here. Put the hands behind the back, put the handcuffs on, go peacefully, and have a nice day. And that's what we're trying to make sure that they don't get any ideas of saying, look, it's only 1 person there. We're gonna I'm gonna take my chances. We don't want you to take your chances. We want a peaceful arrest, and we want to move on. And that's what we hope on.
Well, police have to have backup too. I mean, support not just from the community, but also from their partners.
Oh, and that's what we give them the ability. For any call for service, whether it's just an alarm, we always have 1 person backing up the other person. You're always going to have at least 2 units en route to 90% of the calls for service that happen.
Sheriff, one thing that always from a young man wondering, every time you came on, I wanted to ask you this question, but it went over my mind. I guess when you get older, you can't think of everything you want to think about. But anyway, you said earlier that police come with a siren on, blinking their light to get to the area where the crime at. I always wonder from a young man, why do they put the siren? Like, I always think that if you're trying to catch somebody, you don't let them know. Because to me, I always said they gave the person a warning that I'm coming. Like, seems like to me you want to come.
Well, most of the time, the siren's not on when you're pulling into a neighborhood and doing that. The siren's going to be off. The lights are going to be off. Depends on what type of call you're trying to get to.
Okay.
Most of the time, again, 90% of the calls that are dispatched are code 1. Means no lights, no sirens, just regular driving.
Well, it doesn't change. And I remember back in the days, them guys, like said, somebody breaking the house, they call the cop, they come and I said, man, I always said, you letting the crook know that we coming. See, to me, it should ease up
I looked at it a little
silent.
different. I looked at it a little different than the way you looked at it. The police are headed in that direction to wherever that crime is, and they need clear access. So that siren is on to make them. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff. That siren is on to make people get out of the way so they can get to where they're going.
Yeah, but that's understandable. They say if they're going out the highway and they need a car to get out of their way, yes. But I'm saying once they get in the neighborhood, they still.
They normally.
And I tell you, and we've changed like burglary calls in progress. Burglary calls, especially for the vehicle burglaries, where people are walking around and pulling door handles. We actually won't go into the neighborhood with just the first person there because we don't want to chase them away and then not have a good perimeter. So what we're doing now in the middle of the night when we get those calls, we're actually creating our perimeter ahead of time, turning off the lights, and then coming in, together in order, because this is still walking down the street, and so we want to set up kind of a roadblock for it to make sure that we can catch them, and it's really been successful for our deputies out there.
It done changed a lot because I know one time I was riding, I think in Harryhand, I was going down Colonia Club Drive, and a cop on the siren, I said, what happened? And he told me, he said, you look suspicious. I said, Lord Jesus. I said, yes, sir. Officer, well, whatever you say. And I want to say this, Sheriff, and we're going to take a break. Then we're going to come back. We're going to keep on talking about the relationship with the sheriff, the relationship with the community. So we're going to take our last break. We'll be right back. You are listening and watching Church Without Walls.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Charlene Duforce.
And I'm Bishop Carol Duforce Sr.
And we're from Living Witnesses Ministries.
And we also have a program on the internet called Living by the Word Daily. And we're seen every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on the New Orleans Talk Network.
And we would like to invite you to tune in with us every Wednesday morning. Again, 11 to 12 noon Central Daylight Time. Please join us as we teach the Word of God. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
This program does not reflect the views and opinions of the New Orleans Talk Network. Viewer discretion is advised.
We are back. You are listening and watching Church Without Walls. Dr. Anthony Williams and Charles Stewart. And we have our sheriff of Jefferson Parish in the studio with us, giving us an update upon the community and the relationship that the community have with him and his department. Also, what's important, the relationship that the sheriff department have with the community. And Sheriff, I just want to say, to other young men especially, and I put an emphasis upon our young people should understand that it's the respect that you give an officer. When you give them respect, they'll give you respect back. Saying that to say this, I was stopped a couple of weeks ago, and I guess you can say one of the toughest areas you can be stopped. In West Wego, a young man stopped me. He looked so young, looked like I might have been the first one he ever stopped, and he put the light on. He put me to the side. Of course, 3 other cops came, and I sat and he asked me, "How you doing?" I said, "How you doing, young man?" He said, "You know why I stopped you?" I said, "No, sir." And he looked at me and he said, "Well," he said, "you don't have no sticker on your license plate. He said, it's outdated." And I said, officer, I said, I apologize. I said, very sorry. I said, but I do have the sticker. But in the glove compartment, I forgot to put it on the license plate. You know, the little sticker they give you, they mail you. And he said, what's that? I said, in the glove compartment. He said, well, get it out. I said, well, officer, wait a minute. Don't want to get in no accident. Is it okay to get it out, or you want me to get it out? You want to get it out of the car? I want to get in no accident. So he smiled, he laughed. He said, "Oh, you said okay, get it out of you, all right." And so I got it out and gave it to him. He looked at it, went back to his car. So all three of the other two detectives that were with him, and he came back and he said. This sticker said, but you got a problem. I said, what is my problem? He said, stickers don't match. It's for a Nissan, not in Infinity. I said, oh, I can't see how that could be. But, you know, it dawned on me that they when it's sent off for the license plate, also, they got, my brother had a Nissan. And I had Infinity, but we sent off both of them in the same person's name. So it was I don't know who mistake it was, but anyway, the sticker was wrong. But the point that I'm making is, he came back to the car and he said, what do you think I should do? I said, well, obviously you're doing your job. I say, whatever, you know, that you suggest. I'm sitting myself, I say, hope they don't take me to jail. You know, I don't know the process. So I got on the phone, I dialed up somebody I know. I said, man, if I go to jail, that's what you need to do, you know. But anyway, I text them and they text me back. What's up? I said, that'd be so. But anyway, the officer came back after talking with the other two officers. And he stood, he said, look, he said, you know, courthouse day, he said, Monday morning, it was on a Friday. He said, Monday morning, he said, go over there and take care of that. And get the correct stickers. Say, you know, he said, go ahead on, you all right? I said, I'm all right. I said, I appreciate it all. He said, yeah. And he said, okay. Now, what in my mind, this was a young man, and he stopped me. I think if I would have jumped out of the car and said, what you stopping me for? You got other thing to do. And I think your attitude, he could have gave me a ticket if he wanted to. But I think the audience, that the point that I'm making to our listening audience and the people may be watching, it's our attitude sometimes that get us in problem with anybody.
Well, no doubt. And as we talked about earlier, we talked about Bunch Village. You know, what about patrols? What about doing it? Well, patrols mean we go into a neighborhood and we're looking for violations. We're gonna go and try to put heat. Well, that means good people that live in that neighborhood are going to be stopped more often because of the bad people that are in that neighborhood that we're going to do. And that it's a catch-22 for us. You know, I mean, you know, we're going in there to try to fix a problem, but on the opposite end, you're going to cause some problems because, you know, no one wants to be inconvenienced. Let's face it. When you call 911, when you're stopped by the police, you're normally not having a good day. You know, I mean, whether it's a car accident, whether it's somebody got shot at your house, or whatever the case may be, it's not having a good day when you call 911. And our job is to go out there and try to make the day better, to try to get you through those particular problems. And you know, look, we hope to never have those big calls. I mean, we don't look forward to them. But unfortunately, when you're having those type of interactions, you do. And look, I got a great compliment just yesterday. In fact, I saw somebody at church and the person had to do 3 days in the Lopinto Hilton over at Gretna. You know, obviously did something wrong and had to spend 3 days down in intake. But he gave me a great compliment. He goes, you know what? He goes, obviously I wasn't happy being there. I didn't want to be there. It was never a fun situation. He said, but the amount of respect that came from that intake booking, you know, everybody came in, whether they were homeless, whether or not. He goes, I was just very impressed. He goes, you know, it was never a fun experience to be there 3 days, but seeing your deputies work for those 3 days, I was impressed. You know, and that was nice to hear. Good to hear good news.
We're gonna try to squeeze in a call. I know get the show is almost over with. Call on line one.
Hello, good morning. Happy Monday morning to everybody. Can you hear me?
We can.
Hey, man. First of all, I want to say, excuse me. First of all, I want to say good morning, Mr. Charles. Good morning, Sheriff. Good morning, Reverend Williams. Hope you guys are enjoying your conversation today. I just wanted to call in and kick it with the sheriff for a second, do the 2020 review and 19 review. And I listened to you guys talk about some of the things happening in 19 and going into 20, some of the great plans that you guys have. Sheriff, if you don't mind, can I kind of talk to you about the largest community in your parish, Marrero?
Sure.
All right. See, me and some of my old schoolmates from, West Jeff to Higgins to John Eric, we all in our 30s, approaching our 40s now, and, we got our new spots where we hang out at, and then we got this coin phrase we got this phrase that we coined called the Marrero Triangle. And what the Marrero Triangle is, if you don't mind me explaining it right quick, it's a bar hopping scene where people go from Lopinto all the way to 4th Street and they bar hop. They just go there and they socialize and they kick it with each other. And I just wanted to know, what's the vibe like in your department with the bars in these areas, and is it an area where there's a lot of crime happening? I know there's a lot of drugs in the area. In some locations, you may have a lot of problems. Some locations you may not have a lot of problems. But this Marrero Triangle thing is really starting to take off, and more people are getting involved in it. And I just wanted to know, because I told them I'll speak to you about it. They were starting to put together these bike riding clubs where they want to bar hop from club to club riding bikes. You ever seen it with the LED lights on the bikes and stuff like that? And I was like, well, that might be a little bit of a problem because y'all want to ride the streets on bikes and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if we're equipped to handle that like New Orleans has been getting bike lanes for the past couple of years and, enforcing bike lane laws and stuff. So I just wanted you to talk about, what's the rules for bikers if they want to be riding bikes in Jefferson Parish, especially in the Marrero area along the Ames and West Bank Expressway corridor and stuff like that.
Well, let's face it, it's never a problem until it becomes a problem, right? Yeah, two people riding down the street on a bicycle is never an issue. Now, if you get 200 people riding down the street and blocking up the traffic, it becomes an issue, whether we need an escort, whether we don't need an escort. Those are whether they're parish ordinances that need to happen. Ballrooms are nothing, different in Jefferson Parish, right? We have ballrooms on every corner in Jefferson Parish, and, the vast majority of them you don't have problems with. It's just that's never an issue of when you have the problem. It just happens. We had a murder in a ballroom this year on the East Bank of Jefferson Parish. When you put alcohol and mix guns and stuff with it, sometimes bad things happen, but that's not the norm.
I don't think that's what he's saying, Sheriff Lopinto. He's saying the ordinance that would of the bikers. So you got maybe 10 or 15 bikes out there riding.
Right. Look, and as I said, it's not a problem until we think there's a problem.
So
but,
now can I interrupt
do we have an ordinance in Jefferson Parish that would govern that?
No, because you can ride your bicycle. Now, obviously, the West Bank Expressway is going to be state highway.
He talking about a bicycle or motorcycle?
No, he's talking about bicycles. They're talking about bicycles. Bicycles,
okay.
Yeah. You don't have any restrictions on that. You're supposed to be on a sidewalk, but let's face it. If you're on the back street, you're gonna have less problems. If you're riding on a back street, there's going to be pretty much no problems, right?
When you get on,
if you get on Ames and West Bank Expressway and blocking up the traffic, well then yes, you've got different violations that would occur at that point in time. Those are the things that are dependent on what direction and where you're coming from. It's always, and look, that's the same thing we do at the sheriff's office. We want to find the back routes, that way yes, the shortest route may be to go straight up Ames, but if you go one block over, you're not going to be blocking up any vehicles. It's gonna, the chance that anybody calls 911 because they're getting blocked up by 30 bicycles is a lot slimmer when you're on the back street. And that's the difference. And so it's just being smart.
And I really appreciate you giving some advice on, potential bikers who want to, ride bikes in groups. And it'd probably be best, like you said, not to really take the Ames route and probably take the Betty Street route.
Absolutely.
And make your way to the expressway. Or once you get to the expressway, go under the bridge and ride. That was my recommendation to them as well. I had one more question, Sheriff, and I hang up and listen.
All
right. Crime has spiked in Marrero slightly. Every now and then people have disagreements, and then, somebody get hurt, and then there's a retaliation and a retaliation and a retaliation. And I believe, in my humble opinion, 90% of the time, people know what's going to happen before it happens. And there are some great people in our community that don't want these things to happen. Is there any kind of way, a tip line or some kind of place where they can call outside? I know Crime Stoppers kind of like deal with the crime after the fact, but what about before the crime? Outside of calling 911, there's a secret number that they can call where they can remain anonymous and submit a tip for a potential crime about to happen.
Well, Crime Stoppers, you can give tips on anything. Doesn't have to be after the fact. You can give a tip at any time at 822-1111. In Jefferson Parish, we also have 3 no drug that you can contact. That's just a recording. You don't have to leave anything. It's a recording. You can say, I think this person's responsible. And let's face it, there's times on the sheriff's office that we know who's responsible for the crime. We know. We've been given the information. We just don't have enough evidence in order to arrest the person for it. We know just what the community knows. And we know that this person is responsible for it, but I don't have enough evidence in order to pick them up on it yet. So the fact of it is giving this information on particular people, even though it may not be specific to that crime, that, look, yes, they're responsible for this murder, but they're also dealing drugs out of this particular vehicle. Giving us that information, I'll put them in jail for a drug crime to keep them from killing somebody else the next week. I mean, that's not a problem, but we need the information. So, that's the difference. Yes, you can leave it without leaving your name. You don't have to give us, but the more information we have, the better it is for us.
And thank you once again, Sheriff, for explaining that. And I know I said I was going to hang up and listen, but I want to thank you. First of all, congratulations. But, I want to thank you for the outstanding job that you've been doing in our community, and we look forward to all of the excellent things that you have for 2020, and we look forward to having fun with your officers for the upcoming parades in Marrero. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing them. Are we doing the Martin Luther King parade?
As far as I know, I haven't heard anything different. So,
okay, great. So we look
sure
forward to having fun with you guys. New Orleans Talk Network will be out there.
Yep, we'll be there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jeff, you have any closing words?
Wish everybody a happy New Year. I'll see y'all again in 2 months, and we'll be in the swing of Mardi Gras. But we'll be there and we'll make it happen. So.
Dr. William,
I'm cool.
Okay, happy New Year to everybody. May all your dreams come true. Otis Reddis, when he sung his song Merry Christmas, he said, I hope all your dreams come true. So we're hoping that you have a prosperous 2020.
2020.
And we hope that God will continue to bless you in everything that you do. And we thank our sheriff for coming on again. And we hope that everyone enjoyed themselves, and thank you for listening and watching Church Without Walls. And we so happy that you let us come into your home, office, car, wherever you may be. A happy New Year, and may God continue to bless you. And Sheriff, how we go out?
How we go out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? You ain't never half dead.
Yeah.
If you're dead, you're dead.
There's no such thing as being half dead. If you dead, you're dead.
That's it.
Right. See y'all in 2020. God bless you and keep you.
Yo, Mom, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to?